Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are doing something that might sound a little trivial on the surface, but when you peel back the layers, it's actually a masterclass in narrative structure. We aren't analyzing a geopolitical treatise or a biography of a tech mogul today. We are looking at a massive structural restructuring of a pop culture juggernaut. We are talking about Dragon Ball.
But before anyone reaches for that skip button, let's be really clear about what this is. This is not us sitting here reading fan fiction about who kisses who.
No, not at all.
This is an analysis of chaos theory applied to storytelling. It's about the butterfly.
Right. I've got this stack of notes here from Merriweather Designs and Sacred Sea, and these are incredibly dense, almost academic breakdowns, and they're making a really bold claim.
A very bold.
They argue that a single romantic swap fixes the fundamental narrative flaws of the entire. We're talking about pacing issues, character agency, power scaling logic, and maybe most importantly, the absentee father trope that has plagued the main character for 40 years.
It is a classic butterfly effect scenario, and the premise is deceptively simple. What if Goku married Bulma?
See, my immediate reaction when I saw this topic was, okay, this is just shipping. This is just fans wanting the two main characters to get together.
Which is a fair first reaction.
But reading through these sources, it feels like we're looking at an alternate timeline that honestly makes more logical sense than the one we actually got.
That's the core mission of this deep dive. We are exploring what the sources refer to as the Zeta time. And we are not guessing. We're using canonical evidence manga chapters, character psychological profiles, specific power level calculation to construct a step-by-step history of the Dragon Ball universe. Just change.
So let's start at the beginning, or I guess the divergence point. Because to get to the Zeta timeline, we have to ask, was this ever actually a possibility? In my head, Bulma was always with Yamcha, and then suddenly she's with Vegeta. It felt random, but it felt set in stone.
It feels set in stone because that's the history we know. It's what we grew up. But the Sacred Sign archives point to specific chapters in the manga that suggest Toriyama, the creator, was toying with this idea right up until the very...
Really?
Oh, yeah. Specifically, look at the end of the original Dragon Ball, chapter 166, and even early Dragon Ball Z, chapter 90.
Chapter 93. Wait, that's the Namek saga. That's way late in the game to be thinking about what ifs.
Exactly. That's what makes it so fascinating. And yet, in that chapter, while they're flying to Namek, Bulma explicitly wonders if she missed the boat on...
I think I remember that line.
She looks at him, this powerful, handsome protector, and she compares him to Yamcha, who, let's be honest, has a history of infidelity and instability.
He's not exactly reliable.
Not at all. And she has this moment of genuine textual regret. The sources argue this wasn't just a throwaway line. It was an artifact of the original plan that never came to be.
I've heard rumors for years that Toriyama's editor actually pushed for the Goku-Bulma pairing.
He did. It's a pretty well documented. The editor saw the dynamic, the adventurer, and the scientist. The brawn and the brains. It's a classic pulp fiction trope, and it worked.
It's a power couple.
A true power couple. But Toriyama was notoriously averse to writing. He found it embarrassing. It wasn't his thing. So he went for the gag. He had Goku marry Chi-Chi essentially by accident because Goku thought marriage was a type of food.
Which is, it's funny for a gag manga, which is what Dragon Ball was at the start. But as the series shifted into Z and became this serious martial arts drama with life and death stakes, that gag foundation started to show some serious cracks.
Precise. It created this huge disconnect. You have the universe's strongest warrior, a man who lives and breathes combat, married to a woman who fundamentally hates fighting and wants him to be a farmer.
It's a constant source of friction.
Right, but it's friction that doesn't drive the plot forward. It just stalls it. It creates filler episodes. The Zeta timeline removes that friction entirely.
Okay, let's roleplay the divergence. We are at the 23rd World Tournament. This is the moment Goku shows up as an adult. He's tall, the tail is gone, he's ripped, and Bulma is there.
And in the canon, she is absolutely floored. Her dialogue is practically swooning. She doesn't recognize him at first, and when she does, the attraction is immediate, and it is obvious.
And then enter Chi-Chi. In the original, she storms in, reminds Goku of a promise he made when he was, 12? And he just says, sure.
Right, and Bulma just stands there, completely shocked. But in the Zeta timeline, the Merriweather notes suggest a different psychological reaction. Bulma is a woman who is used to getting what she wants. She's the daughter of the richest man in the world.
She's not a passive character?
Not at all. And she sees this random girl claiming her best friend, the boy she went on this epic adventure with, and she intervenes.
But how does she stop it?
Yeah.
I mean, Goku's pretty stubborn about keeping promises, even if he doesn't understand.
The sources lay out two scenarios. One is that she just lied. She steps in and claims she's already Goku's girlfriend, and Goku, being naive, goes along with it.
I could see that.
But the more compelling scenario, and the one that fits the Zeta narrative better, is that she exploits Goku's two biggest, his naivety and his stomach.
Food, of course.
She points out that Chi-Chi hasn't been part of his life for years, while she has been there since day one. She's his partner. And then she essentially tricks him into dates by promising him these incredible full-course meals at Capsule Corp.
That is the most effective way to handle Goku. It's not even a contest.
It is the only way. And once Goku realizes that marriage to Bulma means living at Capsule Corp with unlimited food and the best training technology in the world versus marriage to Chi-Chi, which means, well, he doesn't know what that means yet.
Yeah.
The choice for him is purely pragmatic.
So Chi-Chi gets rejected right there in the ring. That's brutal.
It's a very harsh moment. She's humiliated. The sources even suggest she might try to fight him for it and just get tossed out of the ring. But this is where the timeline really starts to ripple.
Right.
In the original, Chi-Chi gets Goku, and then she vanishes to Mount Pao to become the nagging wife archetype because she's completely isolated and stressed out of her mind.
Right. She basically disappears from the plot until she needs to show up and yell at Gohan for training.
But here she is rejected. She has no husband, she has no farm to go to, so where does she go? She's a martial artist, she's the daughter of the Ox King, she stays with the group, with Krillin, Yamcha, Master Roshi, because that's her social circle. She doesn't retire. She keeps training.
I want to stick a pin in Chi-Chi because I know her arc gets wild later on. Let's talk about the newlywed life of Goku and Bulma. They move into Capsule Corp.
This is a fundamental economic shift for the main character. Think about Goku's biggest struggle in Super or even late. It's always about balancing training with providing for his family. He's a radish farmer. He's poor.
He's constantly getting yelled at by Chi-Chi for not working, for not earning a living.
In the Zeta timeline, he is married to the heiress of the largest tech conglomerate on the planet. Money is no longer a variable. It's completely off the table.
So what's his job?
His job is to be the protector of Earth and to be the lead test subject for all of Capsule Corp's new defensive and training gear. Bulma actively supports his training because a stronger Goku benefits her research and, keeps the planet from getting blown up.
So he has unlimited resources, unlimited food, and a wife who actively encourages him to get stronger. That's actually terrifying.
It's efficient. And then we have the child. Gohan is stillborn. Goku still names him after his grandfather. But this is Gohan Brief.
Okay, just the name Gohan Briefs implies completely different upbringing. We always talk about nature versus nurture. In the original, Chi-Chi terrifies Gohan about fighting. She drills it into him that he has to be a scholar.
The Sacred Saiyan dossier calls this the Tony Starkification of Gohan. You have to remember, in the original, Gohan was a pacifist because violence terrified him. It was something that happened to him. He was a sheltered kid thrown into a war zone.
Right. He was a crier.
But with Bulma as a mom, Bulma has been shot at by Red Ribbon Army soldiers, chased by dinosaurs, and traveled the entire world hunting for magical orbs since she was 16 years old.
She's not afraid of adventure.
Not in the slightest. She views the world analytically. If a dinosaur attacks, you shoot it. If a villain appears, you find a way to defeat him. She's a problem solver.
So she's not hiding Gohan away in the mountains?
Absolutely not. She wants him to be a genius, yes, and he is. He's academically elite from birth, probably tutored by the best minds Capsule Corp can hire. But she also knows he's a Saiyan hybrid. She treats his biology as a scientific reality. My son has super strength, therefore he must learn to control it.
So Goku trains him.
Goku trains him from the moment he can walk. It's not about making him a fighter. It's about teaching him control, and it's just part of his education, like math or science.
This brings us to the Raditz encounter. In the canon, Raditz shows up, slaps Goku aside, and kidnaps a 4-year-old who has never thrown a punch in his life.
A terrified 4-year-old. In the Zeta timeline, Raditz arrives expecting to find a weakling brother and an even weaker nephew. Instead, he finds Goku, who has been training with optimal nutrition and zero financial stress, and Gohan, who is effectively a child soldier prop.
The sources have some specific numbers on this fight. Walk me through the map because this part blew my mind.
Okay, so in the canon, Gohan's rage boost against Raditz, that iconic moment, spiked his power level from essentially 1 to 3,307. That was enough to crack Raditz's armor and seriously hurt him.
Right. It was the first sign of his hidden potential.
In this timeline, Gohan has been training with Goku for 4 years. His base power level isn't 1. The source is calculated to be somewhere around 100 or 150, which is already comparable to seasoned human martial artists like Master Roshi at the start of the season.
Okay, so his starting point is way higher.
Way higher. So when that rage boost hits, that massive multiplier effect of hybrid Saiyan emotion, it doesn't just go to 1,300. The Sacred Saiyan calculation sheets estimate a spike to over 130,000.
130,000. That's Ginyu Force levels. That's deep into the Frieza saga.
For a split second, yes, but physics takes over. Gohan headbutts Raditz. In the original, it cracked his ribs. In this timeline, at a power level of 130,000, he goes straight
To vaporizes him.
an instant kill.
Yeah.
The kinetic energy transfer at that magnitude against a target with a power level of maybe 1,200. The sources describe it as Raditz basically exploding on impact. The fight is over.
So Goku doesn't die. Piccolo doesn't have to use the special beam cannon?
That's the big debate in the source material. Some variations say Goku survives because Gohan just handles it. Others suggest Raditz might still get a lucky shot off, or maybe hold Gohan hostage, forcing Goku to make a sacrifice anyway.
I guess for the plot to continue, Goku kind of needs to train with King Kai.
Exact. For the sake of the narrative structure and the necessity of learning the Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, let's assume Goku still sacrificed. Sure, the threat is ended. Maybe he dies from the sheer shockwave of his own son's power. But the key is, Raditz is dead, and they know Vegeta and Nappa are coming.
Okay, so the clock starts. 1 year until the Saiyans arrive. In the original, the humans go to Kami's lookout, and Goku runs Snake Way. But you mentioned earlier that the tech upgrade changes everything.
This is where the Meriwether Designs notes get really technical and fascinating. In the original canon, Dr. Briefs built that gravity ship for Goku in a total panic, basically overnight, for his trip to Nip. It was rush technology.
Right, the ship that was constantly breaking and almost killing him.
But here, Bulma has the intel a year in advance. She has Raditz's scouter, she analyzes the data, she hears Vegeta talk about the high gravity of the Saiyan, and she says, I can build that.
So she builds a gravity chamber?
She doesn't just build a single ship, she retrofits the entire Capsule Corp training facility with gravity generation technology years earlier than in canon.
So the Earthlings aren't just training on the lookout.
No. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and potentially even Yamcha and Tien are cycling through 10 times gravity training for months on end. But it's not just the gravity, it's the nutrition.
The nutrition. I never even thought about that.
Think about the insane caloric intake required for Saiyan training. In the wasteland, Gohan is eating dinosaur tail and sour apple. He's technically malnourished, stunts his growth. At Capsule Corp, he's on a scientifically optimized diet designed by Bulma's bioengineering.
So he has senzu beans on demand, basically.
Better. He has perfect macros, recovery tanks, everything. The source estimates that with 10x gravity combined with proper recovery and macronutrient optimization, which they never had in the canon wilderness training, their base power level gains aren't just doubled, they're roughly 400% higher per month.
Wait, 400%? That's a staggering increase.
Yeah.
So when Nappa and Vegeta land, what are they walking into?
It's a slaughter.
Yeah.
According to the Sacred Saiyan calc sheets, Goku, after being revived and training in 100 gram on his way back, steps onto the battlefield with a resting power level of roughly 60,000. He doesn't even need the Kaioken.
60,000 base. Nappa's what, 4,000?
Yeah.
6,000 on a good day?
Nappa is a joke. It's not a fight. It's a humiliating deconstruction. In the original, Nappa tears through the Z-fighters like tissue paper. It's this incredibly tense, tragic sequence.
Yeah, Chiaotzu, Tien, Piccolo, they all die.
Here, Nappa steps out of the ship, makes a threat, and Gohan, remember, the Tony Stark efficient mindset, just vaporizes him. No monologue, no powering up, just problem, solution, threat eliminated.
And this has to break Vegeta. He's the prince of all sun.
It shatters his entire world. He arrives expecting to find low-class trash. He finds Earthlings and a traitor, Goku, using advanced gravity technology that rivals or even surpasses Frieza Force tech. He isn't just beaten by strength, he's beaten by superior logistics and preparation.
Does he escape? He has to escape for the rest of the story to happen.
He has to. For the plot to continue, Goku likely lets him go, maybe seeing the value in a rival, or perhaps Vegeta pulls a desperate, cowardly maneuver to get away. But he leaves Earth not with a simple grudge, but with absolute. He realizes he has fallen catastrophically behind.
Okay, so this leads us to Nem. The mission is still the same. Revive their friends with the Namekian Dragon Ball. But the roster of who go, the roster is weird in this timeline.
The roster is fascinating. Goku is alive, or at least revived much earlier. He goes. Gohan goes, and Bulma, because she's the strategist, the pilot, and she's not letting her husband and son go to a hostile alien planet without sight.
And the wild card.
The wild card is Chi-Chi.
I really need you to sell me on why would Chi-Chi, even if she's been rejected and she's been training, go to an alien planet? It seems so out of character for the Chi-Chi we know.
Because she's not the Chi-Chi we know. Her core motivation has changed. In the original, she stayed home because her identity was mother and wife. Here, her identity is martial artist struggling for relevance. She's been training with Krillin and Roshi for 5 years. She's strong, probably one of the strongest humans on the planet, but she's constantly overshadowed by aliens.
So she feels useless.
Exactly. She goes to Namek to prove she belongs. Prove she's not just the girl Goku left behind. It's about agency.
And she's there with Krillin. Krillin.
She's there with Krillin. And this is where the seeds of that new romance are planted.
I have to push back on this a little bit, though. We're talking about Chi-Chi, the woman who famously hates chaos and danger. You really think she's going to couple up with Krillin, a guy who is constantly on the front lines getting blown up?
That's a fair point, and the source material actually addresses that hesitation direct. It's not love at first sight. The notes describe an initial friction where Chi-Chi blames Krillin for dragging her in mess, but you have to look at the trauma bonding aspect of it.
Right, they are stuck in a trench together on Namek while Frieza's men are hunting them down.
Exactly, and unlike Goku, who runs towards the danger for the thrill of it, Krillin fights out of necessity. He's terrified most of the time, and Chi-Chi resonates with that fear. She realizes that Krillin isn't a battle junkie like Goku. He's a protector. He fights to save his friends.
So it's that shared vulnerability.
It's the shared vulnerability. The source argues that them admitting to each other that they are scared but fighting anyway is what actually breaks down her walls. They find comfort in their shared normals amidst all these monsters.
I can see that. Two normal humans huddled together while aliens are blowing up mountains around them. It makes a strange kind of sense.
And physically, she gets the Grand Elder Guru boot, the potential unlock.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
Guru unlocks Gohan, Krillin, and Chi-Chi. Suddenly, Chi-Chi isn't just a strong. Her latent power, remember, she's the Ox King's daughter, she has warrior blood dramatic. The sources suggest she might legitimately surpass Krillin for a brief window. She becomes a relevant combatant against Frieza's elite soldiers.
There's a visual I would pay money to see. Chi-Chi with a Bancho fan and a power pole, just taking out the Ginyu Force.
While Chi-Chi is finding herself, Vegeta is finding nothing but rejection. He's on Namek. He's alone. He tries to team up with the Earthlings like in canon, but here the dynamic is so much colder. Bulma is with Goku. She has zero interest in Vegeta. She sees him purely as a threat to her husband.
So he's completely isolated. There's no one for him to latch onto.
He is a pariah. And Goku is on edge the whole time. In the original, he arrives late and is kind of cheerful and excited. In this timeline, his wife and son are in the war zone. Every time he senses a power spike, he thinks Bulma is dying. The sources describe a much more ruthless, focused Goku.
That ally to good, nightmare to you speech he gives to Frieza would hit different.
It isn't just rhetoric, it's a promise. And the Super Saiyan trigger. In the original, it was Krillin's death. Here, the Sacred Saiyan source posits a much darker, more personal scenario. Frieza attacks Bulma directly.
Wow.
He doesn't have to kill her. Just threatening her or hurting her is enough to trigger a primal, husband-protecting wife rage in Goku that completely eclipsed the original. It's not about his friend, it's about his...
Gohan is there watching this.
Gohan sees his mother get hurt. The source suggests a dual transformation event. Goku and Gohan both snap at the same time.
Two Super Saiyan against Frieza.
On Namek.
Frieza is deleted. It's not the 5 minutes until the planet explodes, dramatic, drawn-out fight. It is instantaneous, overwhelming violence. The sources say Frieza is erased from existence before he can even launch a death ball at the planet's core.
That completely changes the pacing of the return trip, too. Goku doesn't get stuck on Yard Rat for a year. He might still go there to learn instant transmission. It's an incredibly useful skill, and Bulma would see the tactical advantage. But he's motivated to get home. He's not just wandering space. He has a wife, a son, and a multi-trillion-dollar company to get back to.
So we move to the android saga, and this is the big one. Future Trunks. If Goku and Bulma are married, Trunks is Goku's son.
Future Trunks briefs. Son of Son Goku. This changes his DNA, literally.
Yeah.
He likely has dark hair, maybe that wild Saiyan style, but much more importantly, it changes his entire motivation.
In the original, he never met his father. He's traveling back in time to meet a legend, a ghost.
Here, he is traveling back to save his dad and his brother. You have to remember, in the future timeline of this universe, future Gohan was his mentor, his big brother. Losing Gohan in the future absolutely broke him. Losing Goku to the heart virus broke the family. The mission is...
So when he meets Goku in the past, it's not that awkward, hey, I'm Vegeta's son from the future. It's a tearful reunion.
It adds so much emotional weight to that first meeting. And Goku, with his weird Saiyan instincts, he senses it in me. The sources suggest a line like, this kid, his ki feels like mine, but also feels like Bulma's. The reveal isn't a shock, it's a confirmation of something he felt in his soul.
But this creates a massive, massive problem for the timeline. If Trunks is Goku's son, Vegeta has no heir. Vegeta has no connection to the future. He has no family.
This is what the sources call Vegeta's worst nightmare. The androids arrive. Vegeta is still powerful. He's a Super Saiyan now, driven by the humiliation on Earth and Namek, but he is completely alone. He's homeless. He is living in the wastelands. He has no Bulma to build him armor. He has no gravity room unless he breaks into Capsule Core.
He's basically a stray cat.
A very angry, very proud stray cat. And then the fight happens. Android 18 breaks his...
Kick heard around the world. The ultimate humiliation.
In the canon, Vegeta crawled away in shame and just stood on a cliff for 3 days. Here, the psychology is different. He has been rejected by everyone. Earthlings hate him. Bulma is taken. And then this woman Lazuli, Android 18, beats him effortlessly. She looks him in the eye, breaks his arm, smiles, and just walks.
And you're saying that works for him.
It's the Saiyan wiring. He respects strength above all else. She is the first person in years to acknowledge his existence on a physical level, even if it was just a crush. He becomes obsessed, not just with beating her, but with her.
Okay, so how do they get from breaking my arm to making babies? That's a big leap.
The hyperbolic time chamber, the room of spirit and time.
Ah, the ultimate plot device room.
In the original, Vegeta goes in with Trunks. But here, Trunks is Goku's son. So Goku, Gohan, and Trunks go in as a trio of family training. Vegeta is left standing outside. Piccolo goes in alone, or with who is left for Vegeta to train with?
Android 18, but wait, she's the enemy. Or at least she's on the run from Cell.
The sources construct a very plausible scenario where Cell is hunting the android. 16 is damaged. 17 gets absorbed. 18 is running for her life. She's nowhere to go. She ends up at the lookout, desperate. The Z fighters are debating just killing her to prevent perfect Cell, and Vegeta steps.
Why would he do that?
Because he wants to fight her again. He claims her. He says something like, she's mine to kill, no one else touches her, and he drags her into the time chamber with him.
That is the most toxic meet-cute I have ever heard in my life.
It is entirely on brand for Vegeta at this point in his arc, but think about the logistics. A year in a white, empty void. It's the two of them, no distractions, no running.
That is incredibly intense.
The Merriweather notes analyze the psychological profiles here, and it's Vegeta is hot-blooded, loud, arrogant, full of speeches. 18 is cool, sarcastic, pragmatic. She does not care about his title as prince. She mocks his speeches. She physically humbles him over and over.
She's the only one who can actually check his ego.
Exactly. They spar. She beats him. He gets a Zenkai boost. He gets stronger. He eventually beats her. They gain a grudging respect. And that respect, in that total isolation, turns into a bond. The source calls it a training partners with benefits situation that evolves into genuine dependence. They are the only two people in their entire world for a full year.
So when they emerge
as a unit, a deadly, terrifying, perfectly in sync unit. And this changes the Cell games completely, because when Cell inevitably absorbs 18 to become perfect,
well, Zeta loses it.
But he doesn't lose it because of his pride. He doesn't launch that final flash because how dare you interrupt my fight. He attacks Cell because Cell just took the only person in the universe who actually understood him.
That's actual grief. That's a tangible emotional motivation.
It accelerates his redemption arc by an entire saga. It's basically the Majin Vegeta sacrifice happening in the Cell saga. He fights with a reckless, suicidal rage. He distracts Cell long enough for Gohan to get the win.
And assuming they use the Dragon Balls to revive all the victims of Cell, 18 comes back.
She comes back, and Vegeta is there. Wait, no words are needed. The bond is already...
Okay, I'm just going to say it. That is a better love story than what we got in the canon. I'm sold. So Cell is defeated. Gohan Brief is the hero. We move into the peace era. 7 years.
In the original, this is where Goku makes that controversial decision to stay dead. He thinks he attacks bad guys.
Which, to be fair, he kind of does. There's a strong correlation.
A very strong. But Bulma doesn't buy that superstition. In the Zeta timeline, Bulma refuses to let him stay dead. The source dialogue they wrote for this scene is hilarious. She essentially summons the dragon immediately and says, "Bring my husband back right now. You are not leaving me alone to raise two superpowered Saiyans."
And Goku does what he's told.
He does. So Goku is alive for the entire 7-year gap. This has massive implications for the Goten is born. Goten breed. In the original, Goten was a natural talent, but he lacked discipline because Chi-Chi didn't really train him until later, and even then it was sporadic. Here, he has Goku, the greatest martial artist in the universe, as a stay-at-home dad training him from day one.
So Goten is a prodigy.
The sources say Goten becomes a prodigy super early. He's hitting Super Saiyan at age 4 or 5, not by accident, but under controlled training.
And what about Gohan? Does he still slack off and become the great Saiyaman?
He does, but think about the budget. In the canon, she wore a silly-looking helmet and a green tunic he bought at a costume shop. In the Zeta timeline, Bulma builds him a high-tech. We're talking nanotech helmet, voice modulation, flight stabilizers, integrated comms. He isn't a dork in a costume. He's Iron Man meets Superman.
That actually sounds incredibly cool.
And his career path is set. He's being groomed to be the next CEO of Capsule Corp. He's a super genius. He's organized. He's the world's protector. He's the perfect heir to the Briefs dynasty.
Does he still meet Videl? That relationship was pretty key.
He does. Videl is investigating the Golden Fighter, or as the sources call him, the Iron. The dynamic shifts from awkward nerd meets tough jock to mysterious rich tech heir meets gritty detective. It's a bit of a Bruce Wayne, Lois Lane vibe. It still works.
What about Vegeta's household? He's with 18. Do they settle down? I can't picture Vegeta mowing a lawn.
They settle in West City. The sources give them a daughter named Pepper instead of Bulla, keeping with the veggie spice puns for the family.
Pepper. I like it. It's spicy.
And here is the kicker, and this is my favorite detail from the entire timeline. Bulma hires Vegeta.
Excuse me. Bulma hires the Prince of All Saiyan to do what? Janitorial?
Head of security for Capsule Corporation.
No way. You're kidding.
It makes perfect sense. He lives there anyway, or at least nearby. He wants access to the best training facilities and unlimited food. Bulma needs security. Who is going to try and rob a company that is personally guarded by...
Nobody. Absolutely nobody with a functioning brain.
And 18. She's smart, she's organized, she likes money, she handles administration, she keeps the books. They become the power couple of the corporate under.
That is the best sitcom setup I have ever heard. Yeah. Vegeta in a suit, just screaming at security guards for being low class.
But the point is, he's happy, or as happy as Vegeta can be. He has a partner who challenges. He has a rival Goku who is alive and lives down the hall. They can spar every Tuesday. There's stability.
So, if he's stable and happy, what happens to the Buu saga? The entire catalyst for the Buu saga was Majin Vegeta. It was Vegeta's midlife crisis. I've gone soft, my rival is dead, I need to be evil again to feel something.
The source argues he doesn't have the midlife crisis. Why would he? He isn't comparing himself to a dead ghost he can never beat. Goku's right there. He beats Goku sometimes. Goku beats him sometimes. He isn't desperate. He's not insecure.
So Babidi shows up at the World Tournament, tries to possess Vegeta, and Vegeta just says no.
Vegeta likely laughs in his face. You think you can give me power? I have everything I need right here. He'd probably just blast Babidi on the spot.
So Buu doesn't get released.
Oh, Buu is inevitable. The plot demands. Babidi has to improvise. Maybe he possesses Dabura more deeply, or he successfully targets Gohan, or he finds another source of pure evil energy. But the Majin Vegeta arc is completely erased from the timeline.
I feel like we lose something there, though. That sacrifice was Vegeta's best moment. Trunks, Bulma, I do this for you.
We lose the suicide explosion, yes, but we gain a consistent character evolution. Instead of him regressing to evil just to catch up, we see a true tag. Vegeta fights alongside Goku from the very start against Buu as an equal part.
And the ending. Who kills Kid Buu? The spear bomb feels iconic.
It is, but the source suggests a change that feels more earned. Gohan steps up.
Gohan gets his redemption.
In the original Buu saga, Gohan gets powered up to Ultimate Gohan. He arrives, he beats up Super Buu, gets cocky, and then gets absorbed. It was the ultimate fumble of his entire character arc.
It was so frustrating to watch.
In the Zeta timeline, because Gohan has been active, he's the Iron Saiyan, he's been training with Goku for 7 years. He doesn't get rusty. He doesn't lose his killer instinct. When Kid Buu appears, Gohan, the strongest non-fused fighter on the field, takes the lead. He delivers the final blow.
While Vegeta and Goku watch.
While Vegeta holds Buu off and, in a moment of clarity, finally acknowledges Goku's greatness, not just as a warrior, but as a father and a teacher for raising such a powerful son. It's a passing of the torch that never quite happened in the original. It fulfills the promise of the self.
It feels like the ending that Dragon Ball Z deserved all along.
It really does.
And just briefly, because it's the new thing on everyone's mind, Dragon Ball Daima, the new show where they all turn into kids. How does the Zeta timeline handle a couple's trip to the demon realm?
It completely changes the tone from a wacky adventure comedy to a romantic comedy with a lot of punching. In Daima, Goku and Bulma turning into kids, it's pure nostalgia. It's them right back in Chapter 1 of the manga. The source describes them treating the whole demon realm adventure as a date. They are flirting, bickering, relying on each other's strengths.
And Vegeta and 18.
Tiny Vegeta and Tiny 8, they are described murder gremlins. They are protective of each other, ruthlessly efficient, and absolutely terrifying to all the demons they encounter. It just solidifies that these relationships aren't just marriage convenience, they are genuine partners.
So let's zoom out. We've reconstructed the whole timeline from the 23rd tournament all the way to Daima. Sounds cleaner. It sounds more logical.
It shifts the genre slightly. Dragon Ball is an action comedy that becomes an action drama. The Zeta timeline pushes it more towards a character drama with high-stakes sci-fi act. The emotional core is stronger.
It definitely solves the useless female character problem that plagued the original series.
That's a huge point. Chi-Chi becomes a warrior and finds a partner who values her. Bulma becomes a battlefield commander and a true partner in saving the world. 18 becomes a corporate and combat partner, keeps the Prince of Saiyans grounded. They aren't just waiting at home to be rescued or dinner.
And it solves the bad dad Goku problem, which is the biggest criticism of his character for decades.
Goku isn't a bad dad here. He's just a dad who loves fighting. But because his wife loves adventure and his mission, it aligns. He isn't neglecting his duties are the adventure, and his family is part of it.
It really makes you reconsider the definition of strength in the Dragon Ball universe. We always measure it in power levels, 9,000, 1 million, whatever. But this entire Zeta timeline suggests that the strongest force wasn't ki or a new transformation. It was emotional stability.
That's the lingering thought, that Goku, the greatest warrior in the universe, was actually being held back all those years by a dysfunctional home, and that Vegeta, the proud prince of all Saiyan, needed a partner who could literally break his arm to finally fix his heart. It suggests that connection, not isolation, is the ultimate power multiplier.
So here's the final question. If Toriyama's editor had gotten his way back in 1988 and this pairing actually happened, would Dragon Ball have become even more popular? Would that deeper character drama have brought in a whole new audience? Or would it have lost that simple, goofy charm of Goku being a naive outsider who doesn't understand Rome?
It's the ultimate what if. We might have lost some of the early jokes, but I think we would have gained a much richer saga.
Thanks to Merriweather Designs and Sacred Science for this incredible deep dive material. And to you listening, next time you watch Goku teleport away from his family to go train, just imagine how different it would be if his family was teleporting right alongside. Thanks for listening to the deep dive. We'll catch you on the next.